happen? Okay, there we go.
Oh, there it goes. It
It's
refreshed.
going to OneDrive.
We're recording.
Yay.
Okay, so I know it's been a couple of weeks. Sorry about last week and any others that I've missed. I've just had an awful lot going on with health problems and with going back to full-time work. So we're back though for this week, and the last time we left off, we were doing Divine's Book World. And if you remember, we were having awful problems getting these weather vanes to spin. So what we're going to do this week is we'll animate them in Blender. We'll extract the animation once it's the FBX has been exported to Unity and apply it. And then we'll fix how to get it to spin properly, to be able to rotate the object and still have it spinning properly. So I'm just going to drag this up here so I can see the whole time thing. I've changed that from 250 to 240 because I just want it to be an easy way of dividing it by 4, and it's easier. My mental arithmetic's appalling, so I'll just do it like this. So I'm going to have it rotate by 90 degrees at 60 and by 180 degrees at 120, etc. So we need to set a keyframe first of all, where it is at keyframe 1, at frame 1 rather. So I'm just bringing up my transform box, which I think is called, you can't even see it because I've got that many blooming tabs here. But yeah, it's the very top one. I think it says item or something like that. And under rotation, I'm just going to right click and choose insert keyframe. Or you can just hover over this somewhere and hit the I key and it'll do it. And now we've got a little orange diamond there, which is my keyframe. I'm going to move this to 60, frame 60, and we'll rotate this on the Z, which is the up and down axis. At least it is in Blender, it's Y in Unity. So we'll change that to 19. You'll see it's turned orange to tell us it isn't keyframed. So I'll just hover over it and hit I. And then we'll move it to 120. And I'll do another 90 degrees, so 180, and hit I. And then we'll move it to 180, and we'll do another 90, so 270, hit I, and then move it to 240 and make it 360 degrees and hit I. And then all of these are already selected, which you can tell because they're all orange. So we'll right click, do interpolation mode and linear, and that'll stop it from easing in and out. It'll just be a constant movement. So if we play that, you'll see it should be spinning nice and smoothly, and we shouldn't get any breaks at the beginning and the end with a bit of luck.
And you're doing this because it's better than Unity, or you just had more problems with Unity trying to do it?
Well, I did have problems last time, and I said, you know what,
Yeah.
next time let's do it, because we've already done the animation for the water wheel in Unity. So I thought, why not do it in Blender this time? And it's another method,
Okay.
another way we can do it, and at least I know we'll be able to fix the problems that we had last time. So
and it
it's
doesn't
spinning.
matter that it's horizontal than vertical, right?
No, because we're going to fix that in a minute.
Yeah.
So what I'm now going to do is go all the way down here to me machine tools, because this is what I happen to use to export to Unity. Anybody that doesn't have machine tools, you can just do File, Export, FBX, and give it a name and a path. But I like to use machine tools because it's just a case
Well,
of...
it's more to that, yeah. Just so you get the materials to go with it and stuff and make sure it's embedded.
Well, yeah, I mean, that should happen anyway with Blender regardless, but it doesn't really
No,
matter.
it doesn't.
I just give
always
it a
drops the
name.
materials on me. Blender always
Okay,
drops the materials unless you specify the copy option
exactly. Yeah, you do need to
on the export.
specify the copy option. And to be honest, Machine Tools doesn't always do it, but in this instance, I mean, it doesn't really bother me because I always make my own materials anyway and apply them afterwards. So we've already got it named. It's called, what's it called? Mill Wind Wheel for some reason. That just happens to be what the asset's called there. So I'll export that and we'll go to Unity. Not that one because that's the light switch. Let's go back here. And there it is. So now I just need to give it its material, which is texture base. And we'll have a look at the animations. It adds loads of animations. If we expand that, you can see all of these. It's ridiculous.
Holy
You
cow.
don't know what on earth's happening, but the one we want is
Yeah.
the
What do you do
action
for that?
one.
Yeah.
And we can show that by just selecting that and hitting play. You can probably barely see it. I wonder if we can zoom in, but it is actually spinning
Cool.
properly there. If we select any of the others, it's just not gonna, you can tell nothing's happening. It's just doing something weird. So
Can
we're
you
going,
delete those extra ones? Are they taking up space or?
that's exactly what we're going to do. So we'll get rid of all the
Yeah.
stuff we don't need. So we'll just hit the minus, and again, we want to keep action. We'll get rid of that, and we'll get rid of that. And then if we go back to model and hit apply, we've now
You
only
gotta
got
loop it.
one.
You gotta turn on loop.
Yeah, not yet. What we want to
Oh,
do is extract this, because if we bring this in here, I know it's over there, we're going to have to move it in a minute, and hit play, nothing happens. So it doesn't actually do anything with the animations that are embedded. What we need to do, well, this is the way I do it because it's the only way I know how. I don't think there's a way of extracting animations. So what I do is I just hit Control and D after selecting the animation there, and it does a duplicate. Now I can just close that, and if I drag that onto there, and we'll also, this is where I'll hit loop time. Now, if I play, and it's vanished because it's not in the right place. Let's just find it again. Give me a second. There we go.
there it is.
Exactly where it was in Blender. So it's working. However, the problem that we had last time was when we rotated it, because the rotation, actually, you know what? Let's just fix it being in the wrong place first of all, because this is annoying. So we've got position, rotation, and scale. We don't want all of those. We only want rotation. So I'm going to get rid of those properties there. And then hopefully I can then just move this a bit closer to the windmill. And with a bit of luck, we can play. And there it is. It hasn't moved. So what we're going to do, now that we've got that working, is create an empty parent. You'll see at the moment, it's got a position, and we don't want it to have a position because we're going to give it a parent and just move that. So this will constantly rotate regardless of the rotation of the parent. It'll rotate in relation to the parent's position, not in relation to the world position, if that makes sense. So at the moment, if I was to rotate this by, say, let's say 90 degrees, and then play it, is it going to break? Yes, it is. It's still rotating,
Yeah, that's what I thought was
which
gonna happen.
is not what we want, obviously. So we'll give it a parent. We'll keep the rotation at 0. We'll create an empty parent for it. And then we're just going to rotate this. And that should be it fixed. So if we rotate it by, what's
So
probably going to
it
be,
won't know better. Okay.
Exactly. So we've just got to position it.
Keep forgetting that it fixes things.
Yeah,
I keep forgetting about the parent thing.
yeah, parents are great. I'm just going to pop that into there and we'll move it down a bit. Good enough. That'll probably do. And then I think if we go to the side, it's clipping through the windmill a little bit.
Yeah, it's not level. Oh,
So I'm
the
just going
windmill's
to,
not level.
yeah, it's not.
Yeah. Oh, so it can't rotate smoothly, or will it?
Yeah, it will. It will. So that looks reasonable to me. And it's not clipping through the actual building itself. So if I come out of orthographic mode and hit play and hold my breath, there it is. We've got a spinning water wheel and spinning vanes. So,
Now, if you could put cloth material on those on the windmill blades.
yeah, yeah, there is cloth physics in Unity. You could technically get it to work, but it is really resource heavy. It's not
Oh, really?
something
Oh,
that,
okay.
yeah. Um, having said
Put a
that,
flag on the castle.
well, well, funny you should say that, but look over here. We have some flags, and
Why
this
did the
was going
windmill
to
just
be.
reset back to the other position?
We in Blender now?
It's Blender now. Yeah,
Oh, you're black and blender. Oh,
yeah.
all right, you just
This is
flipped back.
Blender,
Okay.
and these have keyframes on them. So
Oh,
if you play,
oh.
it's not fantastically realistic, but it's probably good enough for
What's
VR,
it
I would
doing?
have said.
Stretching it out? It's oh,
It's
interesting.
doing
Oh, it's
some
doing.
funny stuff. Yeah, I don't know. This was the way it was in the asset, basically.
Yeah.
But I thought, you know what? Let's try bringing these in as well and seeing if we can get them working. So what we need to do is have a look at the animation first of all. I wonder, actually, you know what? That's 250 long. So, or it's not. It's even more than that. 251 long. Okay. Ooh, I don't like the way that jumps back when it gets to the end. I wonder if it's longer than that. It is longer
Oh,
than
it is
that.
longer.
Okay. There we go. So
Yeah,
it's 300, the animation. And it looks like they might be using the same animation, are they? I don't know. No, they're not, because they've got different keyframes. So we'll start off with the first one, with flag. And I'll just copy the name of the asset.
Does that include the pole or just the flag?
Just the flag.
Oh,
You can
okay.
tell it's just the flag because it's
Because the
outlined
highlight,
in
right? So
orange.
you
Yeah.
don't want. I thought you might want the pole to go with it.
Well, the pole is already. Oh, I keep opening the wrong
Oh,
one.
it
Let's
is.
close that. Yeah, the pole is already
Oh, it's
there.
already there. Okay.
Yeah. So we'll export that. We've named it flag. Let's give it a try. See what happens. It's probably going to be completely in the wrong place again, but
Of course.
flag. Does it have an animation? Yes, it does. I'm probably going to have to get rid of all of that.
Oh,
I
what
don't
the heck
even
is
see a
that?
flag, do you?
No.
Not to worry. We'll bring it in. And
Is that Is there
Now,
material
why?
on it or anything, or special material maybe? That's what. Oh, there it is. There's an
Yeah, I
outline
know.
of it.
Isn't that weird?
Is it under the world?
It
Oh, it's
is.
in the ground. It's in the ground. To just drag it, it's stuck. It wasn't centered.
Yeah. I don't know what on earth.
So if you drag it out of there, drag it up. Yeah, there it is. Just the origin wasn't set.
Yeah.
There's no way to fix that in Unity, is there?
Not that I'm aware of. No, there
Okay.
is if you use Pro Builder and you make your own stuff.
Right,
It's
right.
very, very easy to reset the origin, but not with assets that you're imported that I'm aware of. I wonder.
And the parent trick won't fix it either.
Possibly, but what I would like to do is have a look at where it actually is, and you see the location is keyframed as well, and the scale, which just doesn't make sense to me. Let's have a look at this. Just seeing what they actually do, each of these. So that's like a backwards and forwards, and that's a twisty turny thing.
Curious how they did that in animation, though.
Well, in Blender, it's really, really easy. It's not difficult in
What are you bending then? You're
Unity.
bending up at the edges, or like
The
I
mesh,
don't know.
the mesh itself.
The mesh.
Yes.
But are you using a special thing to bend it?
Uh,
It's not
you
like
know
a
what? Why
transform, right?
don't we? Because this is probably a bit too complicated to show you with a bit
Right.
when it's somebody else has made the keyframes. So why don't we? I'll just save what I've done, and we'll start a new thing. I'll get rid of this, and we'll bring in maybe a sphere, perhaps. UV sphere might be good. And then let's see. Let's make some shape keys. They're called shape keys in Blender. They're called blend shapes in Unity. Goodness knows where they are on here, though I have no idea. So it doesn't matter. We're going to just do something else for this. Right, so in shape keys, you need to, first of all, add the basis. You do nothing with this, so you've got no options to change. But this tells it what its basic resting position should be. And then you need to add a key. And this is where I think, it's a long time since I've done shape keys, but if we just select a vertex, and I'm just using smooth, like proportional editing here. We'll drag that out a little bit. And then when you come out of edit mode, it vanishes. And that's because this is now a shape key and it's currently at its resting position. And if we move it to 1, it bulges out. And you can have as many shape keys, I think, as you like. So we could, for instance, drag this bit out, or maybe push it in like that. And then we'll just set that one back to 0. This one, it pushes it in. And you can have any combinations of these to like make weird things happen to your objects, to animate the shapes of things. This is how, I don't know if you're familiar, if you were ever in Old Space and were familiar with the old campfire. In fact, it's the one that Ben's brought in, the woodland with the campfire, and that's actually mesh the flames that move around. That's all done with shape keys. And then once you've got your shape keys set up, that's when you can animate them. So you could, you're not animating the transforms, so you don't need to create shape keys for any of these. You're animating the actual shape keys themselves. So we can hover over each of them. That's going to be our base position. And then let's just say it's 60 frames. I want this to go up that far and this to go all the way in like that. And then we'll hover over and hit I again, and we'll move it forwards a bit more. Maybe we'll want that to come out a little bit, but this to go all the way. And we hover over that again. And you just do whatever you like with it to alter the shape of your object. You can have, as I say, you can have loads of shape keys for this if you want. But then if we go back and play this, you can see it's all doing weird stuff.
Can you do that in Unity too, or is that only in Blender?
This is currently in Blender, but if I was to export it, we'll just call it, let's just pop it in the same place that it was. We'll just call it blob because it's like a blobby thing. And then go back to Unity, and there's me blob, and we'll bring it up here. And then I can never remember where the other one here. Is it on the actual? Where's me shape keys? Blend shapes, blend shapes, blend shapes. Damn. Actually, I wonder if, I don't think this machine tools is actually exporting the blend shapes.
But if you go back to Blender, you have like an extension on the asset.
Oh, you have to include it in the tick mark, I think, on the export.
Right.
Oh, you're not doing copy here in auto mode too, so I don't know if it's.
Yeah. The animation. No, that's not what we want. Geometry. I wouldn't care. I remember I showed Vanquisher how to do this and I've forgotten myself.
So you want to change that to copy? The one above it.
Could be.
And then click off on the folder next to it.
Other
Next to the
armature,
word
mesh
copy.
lamp, camera, MP. Yeah.
Click on that little folder, yeah.
See what happens. Okay. Blend shapes. There we go. There we go. So machine tools isn't
Oh,
doing
it's
it.
under
That's why it
skin
went
mesh
wrong.
renderer.
Yes,
Oh,
it
those things
is.
drive me nuts. How does that? Because I had a thing that came in, and every time I duplicated it and wanted to change its material, it changed it back on the main one. And I'm like, no, I want an individual version of one that has different material to it, and it wouldn't let me do it because of stupid skin mesh renderer. I don't know. It's just.
Well, all you need to do on your original, were you wanting this one object but with different materials on each one?
Right. And the duplication was not working for me. Every time I overrode the copies, it went back to the original.
Right.
Okay.
Okay. I've not come across that before, to be honest, and I've done like
But it was a
curtains
skin
that
mesh,
pull back and all kinds of
the skin
things.
mesh material that drove me nuts.
Yeah.
So I don't know anything
How
about them. So
bizarre.
that's what now I understand why it's there. It makes sense now, the blend shape and all that.
Yeah. Right, so the animation obviously isn't working, and that's because
You gotta pop it out. And, oh, it didn't come.
we haven't got any. So it exported them the first time. Oh, have I got it selected? But it didn't export them. It's only exported the mesh with the blend shapes the second time. But you know what? I don't really care, because what I'm going to do is create an animation for it in here. And I'm just going to call it blob anim. Here we go. And we'll say at the beginning, we want turn on record, and we'll set these to the base thing. We'll move this up to maybe 15, move that all the way up, and that half the way up, and then 30.
Oh,
Is that right?
okay.
Yeah.
So it does have still has the blend shapes, which is good. All right.
Yeah. It's a bit fast, but it does kind
You
of
can
work.
extend it out. Yeah, it does work.
Yeah.
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 Looks
So
like a bad beating heart.
it does, doesn't it? It does, I know.
But if
But
you highlight them all and extend it out, you can slow it down.
yeah, so one of the things I have done before is I'll just subdivide this a few times. That'll do for now. And then we'll add in the cube, which will scale on everything except the X. And constraint, copy scale. Except we only want it to scale on the X. So if I scale that down, your plane gets smaller, right? So we'll add a cloth modifier and set it to silk, and we'll turn on self collisions, and then we need a pin group, so I'll select all of those, except I think we'll deselect some of them. That'll do. And add a vertex group, and underneath pin group, choose that. So if I play it, it doesn't do much, but at least it's not falling through the floor. So now if I play and scale this down on the X,
Wow.
I've kind of got a curtain. And if I shade smooth, oh, not the cube, we've sort of got a curtain. So now what we could do is we'll just
How's
go
it playing
back
something
here.
without keyframes?
Because it's actually doing the physics calculations when you play, rather than playing it doesn't always use keyframes. Yeah.
Okay. It's a physics thing. All right.
Yeah. So
But can that be exported
excuse me.
or not?
Yes,
It says it's from
absolutely.
Blender.
Yeah.
You can. Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
Not like that. You do have to keyframe it. But the easiest way to do it is what I was just about to show, was with using blend shapes. So if I add some shape keys, we'll just need one, don't we? Because it's going from open to closed kind of thing. So we'll play this again for now, and I'll just scale this down on the X a bit to about that, and we'll shade smooth the curtain itself. What we then need to do, go to modifiers, apply the cloth modifier. So that is now fixed like that. It's not going to let us. Why is it not letting us? Probably because it's got a constraint. I'm going to convert to mesh instead. That'll get rid of it, and we'll get rid of, oh, yeah, maybe not like that. Let's have a look. Apply. Now, can we get rid of this? Yes, we can. So we've lost our shape key somehow. We'll get rid of that. We don't need that anymore. So we'll add that. And yeah, let's just try scaling this whole mesh down a bit on the X. So now we've got a curtain that kind of opens and closes. From the middle, of course, what I should have done was had it, you know, scale over to the left. So let's just get rid of that first of all and add in another one. Actually, let's not bother with that just yet. We're going to put my cursor there and tell it when I scale. Is it going to allow me here? 3D cursor. Don't know if this is going to work. Let's try it. There we go. So yeah, I mean, it's not the best example, but you can see at least once you've got a blend shape added, you've then got something that you can animate. So you can create curtains, for instance, for a stage or a window, and you can have them open. And you just, as I say, just animate it. You might want them open between, I don't know, between 1 and 100. Make this 1. So you don't get the flow of the fabric like you would in Blender, but you can still make a very convincing curtain. And this is exactly what they've done with the flag in Divine's Book World here. They've literally just done the same thing where they've keyframed it and applied a, you know, an animation to the actual blend shapes. But that is absolutely possible. Yeah, like I say, that's all they've done. And yeah, as I say, here we have a working example, which I don't even know what it is. It's a thing. It's a blob.
You did a thing.
I did a thing. Yeah. So yeah, blend shapes.
And that flag in the
Great
background
fun.
doesn't do anything. Right.
Well, there isn't a flag in here at the moment. No, it doesn't, because I am exported it using the mesh yeah, tools, or whatever it's called, machine tools, and it didn't
it
export the
have
blend shapes. Yeah.
Okay.
So I need to do that manually anyway. which is fine. Yeah, so you can have any amount of fun with blend shapes. They're just brilliant. And once your imagination starts running wild with what you can do with them, yeah. I can't. I mean, even things like, you know, a creepy space. You could have a space where like a door
Yeah,
walks or
Halloween.
something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or, you know, like the walls are like coming in towards you, or yeah, you can see like an impression of a hand in the wall, or anything like that you could do.
Oh, that'd be cool.
All
A
of that
hand.
you
Yeah,
could
that'd be
do with
neat.
blend shapes,
Yeah.
yeah. I think
Wow.
that would be awesome. And I can't see that it would be that difficult to do, to be honest. Probably.
Well, it would be for me doing it first time, but
Yeah, but you know, when you think about it, as long as you've got enough geometry for it to work,
right.
there's no reason why it wouldn't. Let's just try subdividing this a bunch of times again. Maybe once more. Technically, all you'd need to do, I think, you know, is like choose some vertices that are kind of roughly in the shape of a hand, I guess. Maybe that and that.
Oh, I thought you could maybe intersect another object with it, like a hand object pushing through and recording it or something. I don't know. No, nothing easy like that.
I don't know. I'm not entirely sure what you mean. You mean like another mesh?
Well, yeah, and it's interacting with it and pushing against it and making it move. I don't know. Just in the shape of what you're pushing it against.
Yeah. No, that's not really going to work, is it?
How are you doing that? Just with a mouse?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep, that's all I'm doing. Just pushing it forwards and backwards. I mean, with a bit of thought, there's no reason why you couldn't do it. You might just literally need to have the image of a hand and I mean, if I take that off and start moving it, it's just moving the vertices, which is a bit naff. Could try increasing that. That doesn't do much. But if you had enough geometry on that patch of wall and you had a decent image of a hand, you know, there's no reason why you couldn't use blend shapes to make that work. You can still do some interesting stuff with it.
Stick drift.
Yeah.
It still could work, you know. I mean, it's vaguely hand-shaped. If you're standing next to a wall and it's just very slowly you've got a hand print appearing in the wall or coming out of the wall even. Yeah, a face. You know, right next to you. That could be
like
quite
a fist or
effective.
something.
Yeah.
I like that effect.
Yeah. And that could be triggered by, you know, you stand next to the wall. There could be a box collider trigger that you just walk into and suddenly this face comes out the wall at you. And yeah.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
That would be quite a cool thing to do. So I hope somebody does it because I just don't have the time. I would love to be able to, but I'd love to see what other people do with blend shapes. I really would because they're awesome. What else can we do? Anybody else got any ideas? Because I've had nothing prepared. I literally finished work an hour and a half before coming in here and I had to eat. So all I thought of to do was the veins, and then you gave me the brilliant idea of covering blend shapes.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Anything they want me to cover? Because I had an idea and then it's gone out my head. It was on the tip of my tongue. I could just sit here playing with this all day now. I want the shape of a face to come out of the wall.
Thank you so much, Lisa.
You're welcome.
That'd be good in the back room.
It's been great.
I don't feel like I've
That's what I
done
was
much.
wondering. If you could you make a face, just put two, put two spheres for eyes and mouth, and do that as another mesh that pushes against it.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't
Yeah,
know if
can you
could
have something
pop-
collide with it physically in Blender?
Now, yes, you can, but I've never played with it in Unity. You can use rigid bodies to make things collide. In Blender, I don't know though, if you want something to actually deform a shape, you might actually need you might need to set up a whole animation for that, because you would need to use, I think, either cloth or a soft body collision. And I don't think you've got the option of soft body in Unity. I'd be surprised if you did. Even cloth's a bit dodgy. Soft bodies are
in Unity, I
nice.
just can't record it. I just don't know how to record it in Unity.
With cloth,
So
yeah.
that thing you just made there, can that
Mhm.
be exported to Unity, and would it work
This, absolutely.
if you animated that? Okay.
Yeah. We just got to export it the same way we did before. Let's just call this, I don't know what we're going to call this. Spooky wall. Selected objects. Set it to copy again. I don't know why, but we do. Selected objects. That was all we did, wasn't it?
Yeah, but we haven't done an animation on it yet.
No, but we don't need to. We can do it in Unity with that.
It'll take the shape keys with it, right?
Yeah, that's the important thing. So if we go to Spooky Wall again, there it is there. We haven't got any
No
animations, which is fine.
The shape key is what you're looking for. Yep.
Okay. Blend shapes. Yeah, it works. Obviously, it's only got one side because this is Unity.
Oh, you gotta do the normals. Is that because of the normals?
Yeah.
You gotta set those back in the in Blender.
Well, the normals are fine. There's nothing wrong with the normals. But when Blender, you can see both sides of a plane. In Unity, you can't,
Yeah, but
because the
yes,
normals
right,
only
until you
point
fix
one
it.
way. No, the
Right.
normals only point one way. A plane only has one side.
Oh,
It's
so it's like a
infinitely
quad,
thin.
it's not
So
it's
you've
like
literally got one normal pointing one way. And in Unity, you can only see the normals. So the normals pointing this way, there isn't a normal pointing that way because a plane is single-sided.
But can you force it to have the normals go on both sides, or
You
not?
can if you use a double-sided shader.
A shader?
Yes.
Yeah, a shader, yes.
Yes.
But
not
like,
with the
when you have a
geometry.
plane, it's double-sided in Unity. So that concept's not Blender.
Is it? I'm not sure it is.
Planes are double-sided.
Let's have a look. We'll
Game
use
object,
a Unity
plane.
plane. And it's not double-sided. You
not
can't see out the bottom. You can only see the top.
Plane is double-sided.
No, planes, as I say, planes are single-sided. So they're infinitely thin. You've got one normal per face. And that's it. So, but yeah, this does work. Technically, we could, I don't know if it'll work after the fact, but we can try. We could solidify it. Will this work after we've done this, I wonder?
Oh.
Looks like it might. So let's try exporting it again. As a spooky wall. Have a look at the other side, we can see it.
Yes. Cool.
However, we appear to have lost our blend shapes. Doesn't have a skin mesh renderer anymore. So that's a bit weird. So File, Export, FBX, Selected Objects, Copy. I wonder if it's because it's got a modifier. It applies the modifier, but the
But doesn't
modifier
exist in the other.
won't work because the key, the shape key, is only applied to the one side of the plane. That's probably why. So if I was to apply that, which I can't, it won't let me. So we'll do convert to mesh. And we've lost our shape keys. So yeah, that sucks a bit, but never mind. There's a workaround. We'll just go into
So
X-ray
if you
mode.
did a cube instead, what if you just did a cube instead?
Could do a cube,
Then
but I
you'd
was
have-
wanting to see this coming out both sides. We could do
the
this.
cube
Let's
would,
just
yeah.
GY. Okay. Okay. That's looking good. Export. FBX. And now we have our blend shapes back and we can see both sides.
Why is that working on both sides now?
Because
Did
I
you get a different-
solidified it now, it's got two sides, the plane. It's actually got some thickness to it. You can see an edge here.
Oh, I thought you solidified it before. Oh, you're saying you actually modified the plane?
I solidified the plane and then I redid the
Yeah.
shape keys. So I'm using the
after the fact.
vertices.
Oh, you did it after. It
Yeah.
was just the order. It was
So
done
I'm
then.
using
Okay.
the vertices on both the front and the back side of it. And I'm pulling both sides.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. As you
So
can
solidify
see.
first, then do it. Okay.
Yes. So if we zoom in here, you can
makes sense.
see, because I had these
Yep.
already selected, when it's solidified, it's already selected the other side as well. So I didn't have to
cool.
select them again. And yeah,
And then you just
it
animate
looks
it.
quite good coming out.
So it's basically not a compressed cube, right?
Yeah, essentially. Yeah, that's all it is.
Yeah.
And yeah, to animate it in here, I think I'd already done it with the blob thing, didn't I? Literally just create animation. Wall. Record. Too quick, but yeah. Could just move this up to, I don't know, a few seconds, maybe 5 seconds.
Nice. You'll have that nice stretching sound, like something stretching through the material.
Yeah.
Record a rubber glove stretching.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's good.
Does kind of look a bit fisty there as well, doesn't it? It's quite good. So yeah, there you go. Blend shapes. Dead exciting. It's given me ideas what to do actually. We've only got a couple of minutes left. We really can't run over because we'll be running into the Comco Theatres event. So does anybody have any questions?
Oh, this was cool.
Yeah. Next week, I would like to start concentrating properly on Divine's Book World, and we'll start splitting it up properly, approaching it in a methodical manner, so we know which bits we need to be occluded when you're facing away from it, and splitting up the landscape so that we haven't got a huge what do you call it, a huge mesh collider applied to the whole thing. We just need the surface. So we're going to try and think about it logically, how we're going to break it up into pieces to make it as performant as possible. So yeah, thank you everyone for coming. I'm sorry I didn't
Thank
have
you.
anything properly planned for this week,
Yeah,
but
thank
I hope
you.
you've had fun. I have, because I
Yeah.
love bell shapes. I'm going to stop the recording now. When I can click the right thing, because I'm so tired.